Hey everybody, as a teacher, I am always reminded of how I can make assumptions about things that people know and understand, and things that people are comfortable with. So I'm certainly learning that as I'm doing this channel. One of those things is Google Meet. I think I've taken it as an assumption that everyone is comfortable with how to use it, that they're comfortable with its kind of core features. And I have recently learned that's not the case with everybody. So I want to do kind of an introduction to Google Meet. If you already feel comfortable with the core features, you can avoid this video. Don't watch it. But if you want to go through those things again, I'll do that today. What I'm going to cover is I'm going to cover the ways to access or initiate a Google Meet with colleagues or with students for like a one-off meeting. And then I'm going to go over the way that most of us should be meeting with our students. There's an easy way that we should use for all of our regular class meetings. So I'll go over all of that, and then I'll also go over some core functions of Google Meet and kind of just how to use it day to day. All right, so to start off, we're here at meet.google.com. So you can just type that into your browser and it brings you to this page. Make sure you're logged in with your school account. And if you're not, you can just click on that and go to click the account that you should be in. Oh look, I'm not in the right account, so I'll click lee.freeman@thompsonschools.org, and now I can close this other one. Okay, so I can join or start a meeting. I'm just going to click on that, and if I want to start my own meeting, I mean I can just read this, but I can enter a nickname, just come up with one and say like test meeting for video, and it's all one word. And then I can hit continue, and then that's my kind of keyword. Or if or meeting code, I guess is the term. Or if someone else has started it and they've already given me a meeting code, then I can just enter that code and then I'll get into that meeting. Or I can just leave it blank and then Google will come up with one for me. So for now, I'll do that. Hit continue, and it gives me a Google Meet. It puts me into it initially, and the camera failed just because I'm already using the camera. So don't freak out about that. So here's the code that I can give to people. I can just highlight that, copy it, email it, text it to somebody, whatever. And then I can click join now or present. I'll explain presenting in a little bit. I like to join first before I present because then people can see my face and I can kind of interact with them just like I would welcome a class in normal situations. I start with that. I don't start with a presentation on the screen and no introduction, like a personal introduction. So I like to start just with the camera and then I can present later. So don't feel like if you don't do this you're going to miss the opportunity to present. There will be another chance in a little bit. So anyway, you just hit join and then you're into the Google Meet. I'm going to get out of this for now and then I'll come back into it from using a different method. Okay, so we can also initiate a Google Meet by going to calendar.google.com and scheduling it. This can be healthy. This can be helpful if you're trying to schedule it ahead of time and you don't want to have to like make the meeting at the moment. The other nice thing about this is if the other person has the meeting on their calendar, they'll be able to see the same link. So you don't have to worry about sending it to them last minute or hoping that they'll find it in their email or their text messages or whatever. So here's an example. We have the staff PD coming up tomorrow. And if I click on this, the Google Meet link is there right now. So I could actually join it early if I wanted to, a day early. And it's just there, ready for us when we have that meeting. So when we go to meetings like that, we can just open up our calendars, click on the event, click join Google Meet. It's super easy for the users. That's a great way to do scheduled meetings. Like I did that just a little while ago at 11. I had a meeting with one other person and we just had a Google Meet there that we put in the event. So to do that, you just click on wherever you want to schedule the event, or you can go to create and then you just click add Google Meet video conferencing and it'll give you a link. If you have guests who are added to that, they automatically see it on their calendar. So that's a good way to do that kind of one-off stuff or things with other teachers and other professionals, stuff like that. But there's one way that we should be doing it with all of our classes. Generally speaking, it's the easiest way to do it. So if you go to classroom.google.com, assuming you're logged in with your school account, you'll see all your classes here. And I'm just going to go into one of my classes to illustrate this. Let's do Theory of Knowledge. So if I click on this, you'll notice that right off the bat, there is a Meet link right here. That's the one that you should be using for your students because it's always there. And they're probably going to need to be using Google Classroom as you're teaching your class anyway. So they're going to have this open anyway. Then when you're ready to meet, they just click on this. And this link stays the same. It stays there for the entirety of the class, all semester long or all year long or however long you have the class going for. And then they just click on it to join. So I'm going to close this other Meet so that I can get into this one and show you a few other things. In fact, I'm going to close the camera, and then you can see my camera in Google Meet, hopefully. Hopefully this will work. Okay, perfect. So now we have the camera and the microphone going here, and of course no one else is here because the school year hasn't started yet for these kids. So we're going to click Join Now just so I can illustrate these features. So it gives a meeting nickname that you can share with people because right now Google's like, oh no, nobody else is here. They maybe don't know how to join. So it gives me some ways I can share that information with them. But again, if they just know that it's at the banner, on the banner at the top of their class on Google Classroom, you'll never need this information. So we're going to close this. And now we have a few options. There you can see the participants up here. Right now it's just me. But when there are other kids, you can kind of just click on them and see all of them. This can be helpful sometimes if you want to see someone's screen, but they're not talking. By default, Google Meet will highlight the person who's talking, and so you'll kind of see them on the screen. But every once in a while, you'll want to see somebody who's not being highlighted. So you can actually click, like hover over their picture like this, and you'll see Pin as an option, and you can just click Pin, and then it'll bring their video up to fill your screen so that you can see what's going on their camera. This is useful if you're like, wait, is that kid vaping or whatever? And then you can like look at that kid and make sure, and then you can just unclick the pin and it'll go back to the normal view. Also, you have chat here. So I'm going to actually close this because normally you won't get to chat from the People tab. So we'll close that. And then there's this chat icon here. So this is where people can send messages. This is great for quick checks for understanding, or type in the chat if you have any questions while I'm talking or anything like that. A lot of ways you can use this, but it just runs in real time. It's important to note that this is recorded as if you're recording your Google Meet, which I would recommend, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But if you're recording your Google Meet, it also records the chat. So that's important for everybody to know. All right, let's close that again. And this is an extension for showing grid view. So that's you probably don't need to know that right now, but there are a variety of those extensions out there. In case you are curious about it, it's just called Google Meet Grid View. So you can just Google Chrome extensions and then search Google Meet Grid View to find that. That can just help you see more people all at once. However, again, it's probably not worth your time if you haven't done it yet, because Google's supposed to come out with this feature built in soon, and I don't think it's really necessary for everyone to have that as you're starting the year. If you're just trying to figure out Google Meet, don't worry about that part. Okay, so let's look at a couple other features. Down at the bottom, you can turn off your microphone, you can turn off your camera. Of course, this is how you leave the call. But you can also turn on captions. It's especially great if you have kids with any kind of disabilities where that would be helpful. You can present now, so I'll click this so you can see what this looks like. You can present your entire screen, which is just everything that I see on my screen. I can do a specific window, or I can do a Chrome tab. And yeah, so it says best for video and animation. That's a good tip. If you're trying to play a video, you have a YouTube video pulled up in another tab, you can click this, and then it'll ask you which tab you want to share. Cancel that. Cool, so that's how you present, and then when you're done presenting, I'll just go to present my screen, and I have two monitors, that's why it gives me those options. We'll share it, And then so I'm presenting, and that doesn't change anything for the way you see it because I'm already recording my whole screen. Oh, just kidding. Here it goes. Okay, yeah, so now it shows that I'm presenting. Then to stop, super intuitive, we just hit stop, or we can go down here, but I recommend you go this way. So stop presenting here, and now you're back to normal. Sorry, I'm going to wait for this message to go away. Okay, so we have this menu icon down here, these options. We're going to click on that, more options, and you have some other options here that are helpful. You can go full screen. You can look at more advanced settings. I probably wouldn't worry about that, but this is a really helpful one. At the very top, record meeting. I'm planning to record all of my normal synchronous classes because if a kid is gone, then they don't have to miss anything. We can just have the recording. It goes, when you hit record, it just goes into a folder on Google Drive called Meet Recordings. If you don't have the folder there, it's okay. The first time you record a meeting, it'll create that folder for you, and it'll be in your Google Drive for the account that you're assigned into right now. So yeah, super easy. Hit record meeting. It reminds you to ask for consent. Great idea. We're going to accept. And then you'll see up here it says that it's recording. There it goes. You have to wait till it turns red for it to actually start. And then to stop recording, because sometimes you don't want every piece recorded for whatever reason, to stop, you can just go back down here and click stop recording. All right. Those are the basic features of Google Meet. But please, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the comments below or contact me directly, and let's help each other figure this thing out. Have a great school year.